communism. I don't know about y'all, but I like the old inside better, right? That's communism, that's socialism, has caused the death and enslavement of millions of people. Why in the world would we want new insights from that? But it's up for us right here, the good news, the Tea Party that's happening here, and nationwide, where we can bring the young people, the old people, everyone together and say that Obama, liberals, all around the country, we're raising our voices loud and clear that we will reject government spending. We reject the politics of greed and envy. We reject
to end our silence today. Trusting that our representatives will make choices that are in our best interest, that are in the best interest of America. They've proven to us that they're no longer worthy of that trust. This gathering marks the end of our silence and the beginning of our movement. Violation of capitalist freedom and a huge step towards socialism. A movement to let this administration know their fiscal policies are an outright attack on the free market, a death knell for personal economic independence, and in virtual direct conflicts with democracy as a whole. Most importantly, this movement intends to remind our elected officials that they work for
no new taxes! No new taxes! No new taxes! No new taxes!
Those of you Rhode Islanders who have been here probably longer than I have, remember when it was a temporary hike in the sales tax of 7%? How's that going? Hey, I just want to let you know there's a table down in front. Those of you that brought canned goods, make sure you get those down there, that table down in front, because we want to make sure that gets over to the Rhode Island Food Bank. Also, there are sign-up sheets down there. Those of you that wish to leave information like email addresses. So he took the initiative and created an online avenue to influence change called Anchor Rising. I know some of you are familiar with that. Anchor babies, absolutely. And he travels the state blogging live at town council and school committee meetings so that the citizens can become more involved. He's really had enough. Please welcome Justin Katz.
Good afternoon. Like a lot of you, I had to take the afternoon off of work. I'm kind of hoping my boss doesn't watch the evening news. yeah, well, I don't think he reads the blog anyway. This is, it should have been a day off, I think. It's tax day, right? We need a break. This is one of those times in history when a society must make a decision. Social commentators of the near future will say one of two things about us. If we fail to be heard, then these tea parties, these expressions of outrage across the nation, are the final lunge of a fading culture, riddled with the errors of an unenlightened past. Or, if we can rein in our government, these demonstrations represent the reawakening of the American spirit, reasserting the principles of the United States. Our country is defined by its principles. There is no picture of the typical American. We aren't a race, we aren't a religion, we aren't a tribe or a sect or a straight line of lineage. The typical American is a person in motion, with a swagger, sometimes a smirk, usually a smile, but always there's a set jaw and a confident stride toward the future, toward growth, toward improvement, and a better life for all who but seek it. Future historians will either tell the tale of a nation that tipped the scales toward the final decline of Western civilization, or they will celebrate the character of a people who saved the world once again because it was who they were, who we are. We are called most critically not to stand against an external enemy, although that exists, but against a corruption of spirit. There is a cancer running through our culture that wants ease instead of opportunity, that takes a life of stability to be a higher goal than a life of achievement. Powerful interests will punish those who strive and excel because they want to be the ones providing everybody else's comfort, defining everybody else's well-being. We here today do not savor work, but freedom. If we aren't free to err and struggle, we aren't free to succeed. If we aren't free to build organizations and businesses and lives according to our beliefs and our goals, and based on our own experiences, then we just aren't free. There is no stability without risk, and freedom is the only defense against stagnation. The forces of stagnation have waged a decades-long campaign to advance their cause incrementally, little by little. While they hold sway in the halls of power, they inject their principles of big government and nanny-state dictation into the body politic. And then, when their poison reveals itself in painful consequences, they recede into the shadows and await their next chance. I'm glad you took that chain up, because I was going to close by saying that is the statement that the people of these United States have to make. That we have to make here today, and that we must continue to make as we turn our country back toward the right direction in the months and years to come. Thank you. Enough is enough!
Before Helen comes back up, I want to mention a couple of things. Number one, this is the owner's manual, the Rhode Island Government Owner's Manual, and you can get your free copy right in there. I think they print it for about $300-400 a piece, but it's free to you. And the Constitution, I got mine in my back pocket, sir. Right, my Constitution. But in this, it has every politician in the state and all the departments, and this will give you an opportunity to take back your government, because you need to know what's going on and who's doing what. Just like we mentioned the transparency train, you need to know how they're spending your money. And as Helen said, the table that's back by that tree, guys, if you can wave, where you're right in the middle of the crowd with that big white flag, join or die. Go back, sign up, keep this going, let them know. We talked earlier about the tax pledge. It was real simple. Up to this point, we only had one politician in the state. This crowd said they want their politicians not to raise taxes. We had 3 other politicians. We got 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. We just got our 5th, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Frank Mayer. Jack him off of his vacation. He came down and I had to say it. God bless you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much.
He signed it in back, so I rushed because I didn't know we'd get back up. But God bless you. Thank you.
Bill.
All right. I'll bring back Helen and we'll get back onto the show. Again, make sure you sign up. Get this here. Get your tax pledge back there, and make sure they do what you want. They're working for you.
You know, in the course of my radio show, I get to meet a lot of the politicians. I get to talk to them, and I've had several of them tell me that when there is controversial legislation and we say to you, pick up the phone or email your rep, your senator, I've had them say to me, if we get 10 calls, that's a lot. Listen to that. If they get 10 calls, that's a lot. You know how that goes. You talk to people and you say, call your senator, call your rep. Yeah, oh, they're all fired up, but they don't actually do it. You need to start actually doing this. You need to make sure they hear from you. It doesn't take that long. And I know a lot of you tell me, oh, you know, I get somebody on the end of the phone and they don't care, especially if we're talking about our congressional representation. If we're talking Reed and White House, Langevin and Kennedy, I know a lot of times you send me back. You send me the form response, you know, you went to all that time and trouble to put all your feelings out on a big long email, and you get back the, dear Mr. Smith, thank you so much for, you know, I know that, but you've got to keep it going, and locally it is very important. It starts here, it starts in your state, and you've got to make your voices heard. All right, I love these signs out here, by the way. Every time I look around, I love this one over here. MSNBC hates my sign. I love that one. What's the one right here I love? Honest, hard-working, blue-collar guy without representation. I love that. It's the spending stupid. Love it. It's a variation of the KISS principle. It's the spending stupid. All right, next up, Ellen Kenner, a clinical psychologist.